And welcome to SFL headquarters. Very blustery day, and I'm not talking into a squirrel here, I can promise you, listeners out there, of course. But season launch, it looks fantastic. We've got the Interleague game coming up 28th of March. Johnny Tack joins me. Good afternoon to you.
Hello Hammer, and it should be a fantastic Interleague match coming up on the 28th at Icon Park, formerly Princes Park in Carlton. Big ground, and we're playing the Essendon District Football League, which should be an exciting challenge.
It certainly will be. We've got plenty of new faces in the team this year. They took a bit of a belting last year, but I'll tell you what, with the new coach, David King, chairman of selectors, Paul Hopgood, why don't we get out there and have a chat with some of the boys and see what they're going to bring to the table this year?
Absolutely.
Joined by the 2015 SFL coach this year, David King. Thanks for your time.
Hammers, no worries.
Great to have you on board. I know the league's been very excited by the whole situation, having you on board. First of all, who did you have to rely on to sort of get your information going in? Because you haven't got a great deal of time to work with the boys.
No, look, let's be honest, I didn't know any of the players coming in. I was an open book in terms of selection, who the guys wanted to pick. We put down what we wanted from certain positions, what we wanted our forwards to do, our midfielders to do, our backs to do, and so on. Really specific roles. Ben Murphy and Ben Lockwood just know this league like the back of their hands, and they were heavily involved last year. The campaign was a late start last year, and it didn't go the way they wanted. This year's been slightly different, a lot more professional in terms of what we've done off the field as well as on. Toby Jedwood's been unbelievable in what he's set up off field, so we're hoping that that'll hold us in good stead. Selection was a major part of it, and Wayne Fuller, of course, was a major part of picking the squad, the initial squad of 45 odd players, and we're down to the 28 now, and we're hoping they can really put on a good show for us next Saturday.
Just take us back a little bit. What sort of got you to what got the bug back for you to, so I suppose, get involved in coaching? I know you've had numerous assistant coaches role. Yeah. What did it take to get you involved?
Oh, look, I love working with young talent that want to learn, and that's what we've got here. We've got some really good players. I think I've been surprised by some of the youngsters who've given their best just on a Thursday night. I mean, they've trained twice with their local clubs already, and then they still front up and give their best for us, which is at a higher level than what they've been going, and I'm excited by that. Yeah. And that's probably the main reason why I'm here. I'm a great mate of Ben Lockwood's, that's no secret. He's invested a lot of time into this. He wants this to work, and I think that's up to us to put the plan in place.
A different sort of game plan as well as it's been this year. I know we're just leading into game day, but can you tell us much about the style of football you want the boys to play? Won't be as technical as what you talk about on game day on the AFL, but I gather you've got to keep it reasonably simple.
Yeah, you do, but you've got to excite the players as well. I think you've got to give them a carrot. We want to play a high-speed brand of footy. We want to cause some trouble for the opposition when we get the ball. We realise, as Ben said before, we're magnet for magnet, probably not as good as the EDFL, and that's fine. So we've got to put some things in place that give us an opportunity. We've done that. I think the players are excited by that on every line. And let's just see what happens. I think that we're under no illusions as to how tough this is going to be, but we're ready for it. And these players, I tell you what, if they could play the game tomorrow, they would.
Yeah, well, we certainly saw them out there a little bit earlier training, and they were certainly very pumped up about it. Any particular players that have sort of grabbed your eye?
Oh, look, I think our leadership's really good. Ben Duthie and Scott Laurie are fantastic local players. They've been great for a long period of time, and Ben's our captain. He's been a best and fairest winner in a premiership year last year, best on ground in grand final. You don't get any better than that. But what he says has really hit home to me. What he says to the group, how he trains, is a great role model for these younger players coming through. But there's a few of the younger guys, and I don't want to say too many names just yet, but I'm telling you now, there's a couple of scouts that'll be watching, a couple of guys in particular. I don't want to say it because I want the Kangas to get hold of them.
No, that's right.
But in saying that, there's quite a lot of talent out there, but there's two or three that I reckon have got AFL attributes.
Good stuff.
When it comes to focusing on the game, do you focus on what Essendon are going to do, or is it more about what the SFL, what we have to do to win the game?
Oh, I think it's about us primarily, how we want to play, what we want to do, and we've done that. We've pretty much trained for what we want, how we want to set up. They're just starting points, but how we want to look, and then give these guys the best platform to show their wares. We want to play with flair. We want to excite us. We want us to really, in a way, take the game on, for want of a better word. And I think they'll do that. I think they're excited by what we've set up. EDFL will challenge us. They'll be better in certain areas than us. I'm not too concerned about that. We'll worry about that game day. But you've only got probably 8 hours of training time to put a plan together, so you can't make it too complicated.
And we're here with the captain of the SFL Interleague side, Ben Duthie. Ben, congratulations on the honour. And first of all, how much of an honour is it to be the captain of the SFL Interleague side? You've been a premiership captain at East Brighton, but this representing the league must be really exciting for you.
Yeah, it is very exciting. I'm very proud to be part of the leadership group, and then to be awarded as captain is a great honour for me personally. Just hopefully we all get together as a group and make a showdown for the big day in 2 weeks.
What has the new coach David King brought to the party?
David's brought a lot of confidence into the group, so he's got a pretty strict game plan that we need to abide by if we're going to have a chance. And so as long as we do that, we should be in good stead for the game.
You were a part of the squad last year against the WRFL. What are some of the things you've learnt, and I guess what the team's learnt leading into this, from last year leading into this game, this year against the Essendon boys?
I think it was probably just a lack of experience for most of the group last year. A lot of the boys hadn't played together, and yeah, it was a bit of we didn't prepare well enough. So we've made a concerted effort this year to prepare well, have a strict game plan, know what we're doing, turn up hopefully on the Saturday and make a good fist of it.
Well, congratulations on being named SFL captain, and all the best on the 28th against the Essendon District Football League.
Thanks, Johnny.
Well, joining me here is the Football Operations Manager for the SFL, of course, Matty Duck joining us. Good afternoon to you, Matty.
G'day Hammers, good to be here.
Mate, take us back to last year. What do we learn from the SFL game? Of course, we've got the big one coming up shortly against the Essendon Football League. Have we taken anything out of last year that we can take into this season?
Fell marginally short last year against the Western Region Football League, and certainly the coaching panel took a lot out of that. There was certainly very heavy debriefing following that, and certainly the selection of the side this year has been based around a lot of those key learnings. So I won't go into too much detail about what those key learnings were to hopefully have a few surprises for the 28th. But yeah, certainly there are a few really key fundamentals that came out of that debrief.
A new coach this year, David King. How did that come about? How did we get him on board?
David has obviously been fantastic, both in terms of his profile and experience. So David has long known Ben Lockwood, who's involved with our program, has been for both years, and is now coaching Hampton Football Club, having come from Chelsea Heights. So those two have known each other for a long time, and Ben indicated that David might be available. So the CEO met with David King, and he certainly showed his willingness and keenness to be involved in the program, so long as we could deliver on certain things, such as a really professional place here for the players to train, which we've got through a really close connection with St Kilda Footy Club. He also wanted to make sure that we had the best in terms of personnel to support the players. So Optimus Health have come on board as a physio partner, and their physios are here looking after the players. And we've really seen some changes in terms of that professionalism of the program this year.
Across to the league itself, the SFL, it's been a big off-season for you boys as well, so we've got some new teams jumping in. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Southern Dragons moved back into the competition, which is great to see them back after a 2-year hiatus. Keysborough obviously come into the fold into Division 2. So look, a couple of clubs coming in. Netball just continues to go from strength to strength. So yeah, certainly the league's looking in great shape for a massive 2015.
Taking on the Essendon boys, so hopefully we can get one back on the boys this year.
Absolutely, Hammers. Look, at the end of the day, we set out to make sure that regardless of the result, the Interleague program this year was as professional as it could be, and that the players were given absolutely every opportunity to perform on the 28th, and we're really comfortable and confident in what we've been able to produce, and fingers crossed for the 28th.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Matty Duck. All the very best.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
I'm joined here by Chairman of Selectors for the SFL team this week, Paul Hopgood. Hoppy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Hammers.
Mate, just take us back. You got involved this year. What sort of attributes were you looking as far as selecting this team?
Oh, look, I think with David King's coaching style, what we're trying to achieve is a side that's going to cover the ground pretty well and be competitive and play with some real intent.
Did you get a chance at all to have a look at last year's game, or you just were very solid in what you wanted to do this year?
Yeah, no, we looked through last year's final series actually, and a few games before that, and saw some of the top sides play their footy, and sort of looked at the way they played and what style of footy that David wanted to achieve, and tried to match that up accordingly.
It's obviously something, in such a short time, you've only had 6 weeks to work on. Has it been hard to get that together?
Yeah, it's a short period of time, but again, the bits and pieces that we're trying to teach them along the way will help them become better footballers, I reckon. I think they've enjoyed the process and being able to be exposed to some really solid AFL style of footy.
And any particular players sort of stuck out in your mind, I suppose, this year?
Yeah, look, a couple of those leaders around the team have been pretty good. The captain in Duth, he's going to be a good player and handy for the team on Saturday. Also, a couple of the younger blokes, Jackson Pete's come back from Collingwood. I think he's going to be a really good find for the side as well.
And I think there's a young boy there from Hyde, Tommy Brown, looks like he's got a bit of talent as well.
Yeah, a bit of talent there, mate. He trained well tonight, actually, so it'd be good to see how he handles himself going up to the level and playing a higher intense brand of footy.
So there was no concerns about taking any players from Division 2 or 3. It was just trying to get the best side available.
I think Kingy, that was his mandate, to try and get the best players. Doesn't matter where they've come from. Ones who want to learn, ones who want to play footy and play the right style of footy as well. Again, it's not being the most talented, but playing the right game style to be able to compete against a very strong competition that we're playing against.
Joined by the assistant coach of the SFL team this year, Benny Lockwood. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Hammers. Good to be here.
Second year in a row for you as assistant coach of this team. I'm sure you must have had a big input to the selection this year.
Yeah, a little bit. We learned a lot of lessons from last year. I think we picked a lot of guys that played a lot of SFL footy, and we're probably the better players in the SFL. But this year we really looked at more getting a 22 or a 24 that are going to play the right brand of footy. So went away from maybe just picking the best at each club. And we had full control from the very start. It wasn't just clubs nominating their players, so a bit easier to do it that way for us.
And no restrictions on age, I've noticed, with the list this year.
No, birth certificates don't mean anything to us. We've got a couple of older guys, and Scotty Lowry, who didn't play last year, who's vice captain this year. He's 31, 32. Big Gilbo's back at 31. Then we've got some kids. I think we've got 5 kids under 20 years of age in the squad, so it's really
good.
Which
is great. I know there'll be some talent scouts out having a look, as they were last year at this particular game last year. There was a few out and about having a look, but
yeah, absolutely.
So a great opportunity for the kids, and that's I think the first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. But in saying that, we expect a lot from them. We're going to win by playing fast footy, and the kids can do that, run and carry. Their enthusiasm's terrific. So they're there. They're not just there as a token gesture. They're there because they've earned their spot. Enthusiasm, speed, and they want to play. So it's great to have them on board.
On the flip side, obviously, it's Essendon Districts up against on Saturday. Have you had much of a chance to have a bit of a look at their squad?
Oh, we have a little bit. We haven't spent too much time on them. They are who they are. They've got some names, as Kingy said from day one, magnet by magnet. They're going to be probably better than us, but we're not worried about who they are, what they've done. It's about Saturday. So yeah, look, they've got some great players. They're ranked probably higher than us, but that's it. That's all it is until game day.
And numbers, I've noticed. Players have been very outright with their time, like they've been very happy to really get involved and embrace it.
Yeah, I think it was a big start last year. Come from nothing last year. We learned from our mistakes last year big time. There was a few. This year, it's been a lot better as far as professionalism and so on like that. A lot more buy-in, and hence the players have really, really enjoyed the experience this year.
Promises to be a cracking game, Johnny. Looks good. Everything seems to be intact out there. Don't forget to join us from Icon Park, formerly known, of course, as Princes Park down there at Carlton, on the 28th of March, 11 a.m. Be there. It promises to be a cracking game.
And hopefully everyone from the SFL can go down and support the boys, and hopefully we can bring home the victory.